Oh, Sweet 16 action continued on Friday. So you got two one seeds. They won. They dominated. Some of them were close games, but if you watched the game, you knew that seed dominated. Obviously, Duke Syracuse is pretty close, but I'm gonna dive into this and then talk about the implications. So Kansas Clemson is kicked off in Omaha, Nebraska. First game of the Sweet 16. Kansas came out high energy, played really well in the first half. Vic hit a 3, Newman hit a layup, put them up by 7 with a 5-0 run. Obviously, Clemson had to answer to most of their runs in the first half, but DeVoy jumper, Donald layup, Mitchell free throws, cut the game to 1-6-0. Then Kansas went back on a 5-0 run again with the Newman 3, Azubuike layup, and Kansas was playing really well. They're flowing well. Clemson couldn't do anything defensively, so what Clemson tried to do is they tried to clog up the middle, and they forced Kansas into tough jump shots. But what happened is, Kansas has been making those jumpers all year long. Malik Newman, Makai Luke, Devontae Graham. So there's no way to stop him. And now that Azubuike is playing well as well, Kansas looks near unbeatable right now. So that's just how that went. DeVoy jumper, cut the game down to 1. Then Kansas, Makai Luke 3, DeSouza had a dunk. Actually, Azubuike was a little bit in foul trouble, so he had to sit for a while. So DeSouza always came in, still put him up by 6, and then Kansas, went on another run after Clemson cut it down to 3 again, but Kansas, Makai layup, Azubuike dunk, Devontae Graham to Azubuike, it was a great dunk, a little lob pass, great dunk, and then Vic had a dunk, so Kansas went up by as many as 11, quick 10-0 run, went up by 11, quick 10-0 run, and they stayed up, hit some free throws. Vic hit a 3 to end the half. Like I said, they were up by 13. Like I said, Kansas had the advantage down low. Clearly a superior team down low right now, like I said, and hitting all the jumpers, hitting all the threes. Clemson forced them into tough shots, like I said, and they hit all the tough ones. So good for them. Second half, Clemson sort of made a surge. But Kansas early on went up by as many as 20 with the Vic 3, Newman 3, Graham 3. So they came out, made 3 threes in a row. Bam, game's 20. In Omaha, looks like the game's over, but Clemson, like I said, Clemson made a little surge later on. Thomas Lev, DeVoy had a great game as a Clemson Tiger. His final game, he played his heart out. Dude kept his team in it. Clemson cut it all the way down to 15, but then Kansas countered with a Newman 3 Graham jumper. Kansas held their ground very well. They were up by 18. It got cut all the way down to 11 a little later, but it wasn't like major trouble for them. Azubuike and Devontae Graham got in foul trouble, but that was already after Kansas went up big. So Kansas was sort of they limped to the finish line, but it was already too late. Clemson made a little run later, Mitchell layup, Mitchell free throws, Mitchell steal, and then Mitchell had a dunk. So Makai threw the ball in bounds, and it just bounced once and went. Okay, Makai couldn't find anyone open, but he didn't want to get the 5-second call because that's even worse than giving up a free dunk. So they had to give up a free dunk. And Clemson was only down by 6 at this point, 2 minutes to go. So Makai took a 3. Makai trying to salt the game away. Put up a 3. He missed. Big miss. Because if Clemson gets the rebound, goes down, they cut it to 4 or 3. Probably 3 because it was late in the game. But Devontae Graham got a huge offensive rebound. And Mitchell took a bad shot. Also, Kansas got the clock on the possession, didn't score, but Mitchell went back and he took a really bad contested 3, which is a really bad shot. That late in the game, you don't take a shot like that. I think Clemson, they didn't execute offensively. They had it defensively a little bit in the second half, but it was just, like I said, Kansas is Kansas. You can't, like I said, I didn't see them losing until they played someone almost equal to them. If not, they won't lose in this. If not, they won't lose in this tournament. So Mitchell missed some 3s late. DeVoy missed a lot of shots late, and Kansas sort of dominated early in this game, pulled away late, held off a late comeback. Solid team effort here in Omaha. Malik Newman led the team with 17 points. Hit a bunch of 3s. He was flowing in Omaha. Omaha was buzzing. He was flowing. He was hitting shots. Graham at 16. Vic at 13. Azubuike actually fouled out at the end of this game, but he still had 14. Great contribution down low. Like I said, by the time he fouled out, game was already in Kansas's favor. So good job to the Kansas Jayhawks. Bill Self advances to yet another Elite 8. They always get knocked out in the Elite 8, and he's always known for having talented teams. But Devontae Graham, he's probably going to be driven by the past failures in the Elite 8 to play well in this Elite 8. So I think it'll be interesting interesting to see who they match up with and to see how they play. So good job to the Kansas Jayhawks for advancing to the Elite Eight. No upset here. Villanova versus West Virginia. The press really worked for West Virginia, and they almost had this one, but Villanova pulled away. Let's see how. So early on, like I said, the press, but early on, Villanova actually came out pretty well. Bridges hit a jumper. Bridges hit a three. Brunson hit a jumper. They put Villanova up by 7-0 run. But, West Virginia, like I said, the press really helped. Kanate was a beast in this game. Bunch of blocks. He was all over the place. He almost single-handedly won the game for West Virginia. That's how good Kanate was. Kanate hit a layup, and then a dunk, and another layup. So, the game got cut all the way down to 4 at 16-15. Then, Nova went up by 5 again, and then West Virginia got a 3 by West, and a Kanate dunk tied it up at 22-22. Then West Virginia... they went up. They trailed. They went up by 1, and then Booth hit some free throws. Brunson hit some free throws. Brunson hit a jumper, quick 6-0 run. There was, Villanova couldn't really pull away in this first half. West Virginia sort of gave them a lot of problems. Javon Carter, athletically, they hadn't played a team this defensively and offensively gifted all year. I feel like so. This is sort of a challenge for them coming out of the gates. Then Nova again. Bolden hit some free throws. West hit some free throws. West hit a layup. West Virginia, quick 8-0 run. Went up 33-30. This is a really good run for West Virginia in the first half to sort of give them a lot of confidence. I feel like with Bridges in foul trouble and Brunson in foul trouble, this really I felt like this was like that momentum shifter for West Virginia. But Villanova, Villanova came back a Pascal 3. Nice Pascal 3 there to put them up at the half, 44-42. Like I said, Virginia did a good job of putting the press on them. Obviously, still 44 points, but Villanova's a great offense. What are you going to do? 2 lottery picks. So, it's still, I think it was a win for West Virginia to play that well. Nova got in a lot of foul trouble. So did West Virginia, but game was played at a very high-level pace. It looked like a very competitive game. It was winner take all. You know what I mean? Like it was one of those games that you knew was going to come down to the final minute, and so it was just a good game. Jay Wright even said at halftime, he's like, we've never seen a team like this before, so we need to prepare and we need to be able to show that we've been playing well, and he said he would, and that's what happened in the second half. Daxter Miles was also in foul trouble. That in the second half, Daxter Miles was in a lot of foul trouble, so that kind of killed West Virginia's chances at a run. It was tied at 47. It was 47-42. Villanova. Then Daxter Miles hit a jumper. Kanate hit a jumper. Kanate hit a dunk. Carter hit a jumper. Ahmad hit a jumper. Ahmad hit a layup. A quick 10-0 run for West Virginia, and the press was confusing Villanova early on in the second half again, and West Virginia went up by 5, but this is when I feel like the game didn't change until a little bit later. West Virginia was still sort of dominating. Spellman hit a 3. Spellman hit some free throws, tied up at 52. Then West Virginia hit a Bolden 3, Carter lip. So West Virginia went up by 6 second half. Jay Wright calls a timeout to try to get his team to adjust. And this timeout was probably the most crucial timeout of the entire game because his kids came out and responded with a 11-0 Villanova run with some Brunson free throws. Jalen Brunson is actually what brought them back in this game. Jalen Brunson is who brought them back in this game. Jalen Brunson hit some good free throws, hit a bunch of layups, hit some free throws. Pascal hit a free throw. Then Bridges to take the lead. Bridges took the ball, a quick dribble, bam, nailed the 3 in the corner. Spellman had a great rebound dunk. Momentum was completely shifted here. Villanova went up by 5. Villanova was showing that they were good. DiVincenzo hit a 3. Villanova went up 68-62. Spellman hit a 3. Pascal hit a dunk. They went up all the way up 73-64, and that's pretty much it. It was late in the game, and they held West Virginia off, Bunch of foul trouble. West Virginia tried fouling to get back in the game. But Villanova, like I said, defensive intensity. Everything was high in this game. Villanova showed up late in the second half to pull away in this one. When you're playing a 1 seed, you have to stay disciplined for 40 minutes. And I feel like once West Virginia went up, they got a little too cocky and a little too confident. And they were like, oh, we're up on this 1 seed. We don't really have to keep playing or follow the game plan. And I think they sort of deteriorated a little bit from the game plan. And that really hurt West Virginia. And Villanova stuck to the game plan and just kept playing, and it worked, So, down, obviously, great solid contributions from Pascal, 14, Spellman, 18, Brunson, 16, Brunson, 20, Bridges 16, Brunson 27. Nova attacked. Second half, what they basically did was Javon Carter was in foul trouble, but Bob Higgins made the mistake of not taking him out, so Villanova also attacked at that, and then they used to kick the ball out for three, or they attacked right at Javon Carter, and they went right at him as foul trouble. This is another second. They took a second half to beat them, bunch of guys in foul trouble, like I said. Villanova, congratulations. Jay Wright is a wonderful coach for that program. Villanova has been playing really, really well lately. It's good to see programs like this. Villanova's a high-quality program. Good to see Jay Wright back in another Elite Eight, and they will face the Kansas Jayhawks. Not in the Elite Eight, my bad. But they'll advance to the Elite Eight. Good job to Jay Wright and the guys for playing well, sticking to the game plan, doing a good job of just listening to coach, and they trust their guys, trust their players, and their experience paid off. So congratulations to Villanova for advancing to the Elite Eight. So the next one, this is the second one of the Omaha doubleheader. Duke versus Syracuse. Coach K versus Jim Boeheim, USA. Team USA friends. And Coach K has said that he sort of stole the zone as a joke from Jim Boeheim from their days at coaching for Team USA. He's like, hey, I may have borrowed the zone from Jim Boeheim. But early on, like I said, both these teams are playing zones. They're feeling each other out. Duke was up 4-2, then Battle hit a 3, Brissett hit a layup. Syracuse went up by 3. Both playing at sort of the same sort of pace, filling each other out, like I said. Bagley had a dunk, Bolton had a layup, Bagley had some free throws. Duke went up by 2, quick 5-0 run. Then Syracuse was up by 3 towards the end of the half, and a 10-0 run to end the half for the Duke Blue Devils in the first half. Trent Jr. hit a jumper, Allen hit some free throws, Carter Jr. hit some free throws, Bagley nailed a jumper, and Grayson Allen hit a really long 3. So Duke was up by 10, 34-24 at this point. Syracuse ended the half. The last 5:20 did not score. Syracuse's zone really limited Duke and had control until, like I said, until the final 5 minutes and 20 seconds, where Duke shot the ball really well from deep, and Syracuse couldn't run any offense. So Duke made some nice plays. Coach K made a lot of adjustments late in the half, and Syracuse played really well in that first half. In terms of how they played, had they scored a little bit in the last 5:20, they may have won to the half with the lead. That's how well Syracuse played, but Duke stole the lead, and that's how that works. So Duke up by 7 now. Howard jumper, Brissett jumper, come out, and Chukwa layup. So quick 6-0 run for the Qs. In the middle of that run, Duke called a timeout. Coach K threw his jacket on the seat of the bench to set a tone for his team. He was a little mad at how they were doing in terms of defensive efficiency. They weren't stopping him. They just kept scoring, coming out, and Duke sort of changed the tone. That timeout sort of changed the tone for Duke a little bit during that stretch. They got a bunch of freshmen, and even Coach K has said, hey, we've got a bunch of freshmen on the team, so we got to be a little patient with these guys. You can't get too mad at them because then it won't work. Then Gary Trent Jr. hit a 3, Allen hit a 3, bam, Duke 6-0 run, go up by 9. Dolce, 54-9-41 Duke. Dolce hit a jumper, versus free throws. Dolce hit a jumper. Another 6-0 run to counter that. 50-47 Duke. Missed shots, missed opportunities. Duke, it was, like I said, some of it was kind of an ugly game because we were playing the zone. Both teams were playing the zone. So some of it was kind of ugly, down low game. So then Syracuse came all the way back. Cut it, battle 3, Brissett jumper, cut it to 3 late in this game, very late in the second half, cut it all the way down to 3, and they had a chance in this game to possibly take a lead, but Gary Trent Jr., a little runner in the lane, bam, Duke goes up by 5, then they had to go to the fouling game. Allen hit some free throws, then Allen hit some more free throws. Allen hit 1 of 2 free throws, so then it was 67-65, still Duke. Then Trent Jr. nailed some jumpers, and game basically ended there. Those 2 free throws by Trent Jr. ended the game. So that little runner in the lane basically gave Duke a trip to the Elite Eight. Good job for the Duke Blue Devils. This was a hard-fought game. Coach K versus Jim Boeheim. Obviously, it's going to be a bit of a slow game because of the two coaches, the way they coach, and their styles. Their styles differ, but they both play the zone, and they both try to get down and dirty. So, I'm not in that way, but they try to get down and dirty, and they try to get down and dirty in the post, and they play well. So, good fundamentally. Coach K beats Jim Boeheim. in this friendship. Coach K gets another win. Duke obviously always dominates Syracuse in ACC, but sometimes Syracuse is a different team in March Madness, but not this year. They won't bust your bracket. Bagley led the team with 22. Down low, he started dominating late. Wendell Carter at 14, Trent Jr. at 15 with that big runner in the lane, Grayson Allen at 14. Duke had a lot of lobs. Duke had an amazing lob to Marvin Bagley in the second half. A lot of lobs to break the zone with Carter and Bagley. Allen played great. Allen sort of worked his way through the zone. He literally anchored the offense. A lot of horrid shots by Syracuse, missed too many of them. Duke looked very young in the game, so that was a big concern for Coach K. Looked very young, but they were able to close it out, and they held off Syracuse. The zone worked very well. They limited the shots, so good job. Good job to the Duke Blue Devils, switching their defenses to zone, and they've gotten this far. They've gotten all the way to the Elite Eight with that zone defense. We'll see how it works in the Elite Eight when they play their opponent. But this was a really good game for the Duke Blue Devils. Obviously, they barely skated by despite having a big lead early. But good job to the Duke Blue Devils for getting it done and getting the job done. I mean, that's how you win. Survive and advance to March Madness, and they survived, and they have advanced now to the Elite Eight. So the last game of the afternoon, Texas Tech versus Purdue. Texas Tech obviously has won a bunch of close ones. Purdue, I know Isaac Haas, but they were able to scathe one out against Butler last round. So Sweet 16. Purdue is flowing well early with the guards. Carson Edwards is playing well. Vincent Edwards is playing well. Purdue goes up by 5. Vincent Edwards hits a layup. Purdue goes up by as much as 7. But Texas Tech, like I said, they come back early. Keenan Evans hits some free throws. Gray gets a dunk. Morit hit a 3, and Texas Tech tied it at 15. This game was a little ugly in the first half. Purdue didn't score for about 7 minutes. Bunch of turnovers, fouls, missed shots, no offensive execution, and that was part of Texas Tech's defense. Chris Beard did a really good job in coaching this game, and defensive execution was top-notch from those guys at Texas Tech. Like I said, didn't let them score for 7 minutes. Texas Tech also didn't score for about a while, but that was later. Carson Edwards hit some free throws. Edwards hits a layup. It's 2015. Like I said, Texas Tech also didn't score for about 6 minutes. They were clanking shots. Too much action happening on offense. Too many passes. You got to shoot the open shot. You can't just keep passing the ball all around. I mean, it's great when you watch it, but you got to make some shots. So Purdue, Thompson hits a 3. Purdue goes up by as much as 5 here. It's like 25-20. But they were basically shut out for the rest of the half. Stevenson hit some free throws. Gary hit a jumper. Gary another jumper. Zach Smith hits a layup. Keenan Evans with the shot. And that's, it's just how the cookie crumbles. Sometimes. So what are you going to do? Keenan Evans hit a quick 3. And Texas Tech went up by 5 at the halftime. Huge 10-0 run to end the half. Good for them. Or not a 3, just a 2. But huge run at the end of the half, 16, almost a bunch of turnovers, 16 points off those turnovers for the Red Raiders in the first half. So like I said, the defense is confusing Purdue, and they're playing great. Purdue goes last 3:44 of the half with no basket, like I said. Texas Tech clamped down on defense towards the end of the half. They forced tough jumpers, like I said, and they got good looks with good jumpers. They played solid fundamental basketball in the first half. They also got Purdue in a bunch of foul trouble. They're already limited, so them being in foul trouble is even worse for them. Solid fundamental basketball. They took down their perimeter attack, forced Purdue, like I said, in the tough shots. So then the second half came. Texas Tech, Zaire Smith hit a 3. Zaire Smith hit a jumper. Extended the Texas Tech lead up to 6. Texas Tech sort of stayed up the whole half. They didn't stay up the whole half, but it was kind of sad how they just completely dominated, but they didn't completely dominate for most of the first half. Anyway, Zach Smith hit a tip shot, Gray hit a dunk. Texas Tech went up by 6. Then Texas Tech, Hamilton, the fourth hits a 3. Stevenson hits a dunk. Texas Tech goes up by 9 at 50-41. Then at 54-46, Texas Tech, Carson Edwards hits a 3. Hits 3 free throws. Carson hits a layup. Cuts the game all the way down to 1. Texas Tech is, they kept their composure up to 5:27 left in the game. That's when Texas Tech sort of lost their lead. Purdue took the. Hang on one sec. So I was right. Sorry about that. Purdue did never take the lead in the second half. Texas Tech stayed up by 3. They played, like I said, they're able to hold Purdue very, very well. For 5:27 left in the game, Texas Tech was all the way up by 3. They played really, really well. Like I said, so here's down late. Purdue Keenan Evans hits some free throws. Keenan Evans hits a 3-point jumper. Zach Smith makes a jumper, and then Zaire Smith hits a little tip in. And then Keenan Evans makes some more free throws. So you got a quick 11-0 run here by the Texas Tech Raiders to close any door. By the time that stuff happens, there's only 2 minutes left in the game. So Purdue got shut out. Offensively, like I said, their sets didn't work. They couldn't do much. Second half, Texas Tech did go through a little bit of a dry spell. But, they got through it, man. They got through it. Purdue also went through a little bit of a dry spell, but Purdue couldn't get through it. But Texas Tech sort of weathered Purdue's storm at the end of the game. They sort of found a way to enter their run with a quick 11-0 run. By the time they were up that much, it just didn't work. So like I said, Chris Beard beats Purdue again. He was coach at the Arkansas Little Rock a couple years ago when they got their upset on Purdue. And Texas Tech, like I said, defensive efficiency very well. Protected inside. They turned to Purdue over 17 times and took them out of their comfort zone. So Keenan Evans led them yet again with another clutch basket after clutch basket. And the Texas Tech Raiders now advance to the Elite Eight to play the Villanova Wildcats, who won earlier tonight. So good job to the Texas Tech Raiders. Villanova's obviously kind of like them a little bit. Obviously defensively they're a little bit better, but good to see Texas Tech. Good job. Their program is heading a good direction. Great win for the Texas Tech Raiders. It's a good adjustments by them to win this game. Obviously, Purdue, Isaac Haas, elbow brace don't matter now. They showed a little graphic of their guys working hard. I give props to their engineering guys. That's actually really hard to do, but don't matter now. That's kind of sad, man. Damn. They worked day and night on that brace, and now it don't even matter. Hey, at least you can play basketball in the summer now. Have fun in the offseason. Go fishing or something. Put the brace on, go fishing. So, like I said, it wasn't really an eventful day. Obviously, there were some good games, good moments here and there. Kansas Clemson went all the way down to the wire. A little bit close, but, not wire to wire, but a little bit down to the wire. But it just wasn't a close game. You knew Kansas was going to be dominant, and they were. So they advanced. Also, Duke, their zone was going to be good. They played very, very well disciplined, and they got it done. Duke got it done with Grayson Allen, so good job to them. Grayson Allen, now they advance. It's good to see them, sort of working hard. Now you get a marquee matchup in Duke versus Kansas. That's going to be a really, really good matchup. Bill Self is a great coach, like I said. So it's good to see Kansas and Duke really meshing, and that's going to be a great matchup. Going to be a hardwood classic like I predicted. Only part of my bracket that is still alive is that part of the bracket. And so I'm going to really love Kansas Duke in Omaha on Sunday. And then you got Villanova. Good job getting rid of the press. Jay Wright advances to yet another Elite Eight. Good job to him and his kids. 2 lottery picks. They get a rematch Texas Tech. And then they get to play either Duke or Kansas. So, not rematch Texas Tech, but probably play well against Texas Tech. So they got Texas Tech. Texas Tech, like I said, no Isaac Haas. Purdue's season ends as a disappointment. I had them going all the way to a championship game. I think with the Isaac Haas, they had the advantage down low, and that's the only reason why I had them winning. But they lost Isaac Haas, and that's the end of them. So Sweet 16 action ends kind of blandly, like I said, 2-1 seeds. Duke and Villanova both advanced in their regions. A 3 beating a 2 isn't really an upset, so a minorly quiet day. Day for mainly fundamental basketball. So if you're a guy who loves the fundamentals, today was the day to watch. I actually I thought it was a little boring, but I still thought it was engaging at moments. The fundamentals, when the game gets close, the fundamentals come out. You really see. Yeah, it was boring in terms of upsets. But, in March, you don't like when the expected teams win. But this was good fundamental basketball, like I said, for anyone who likes fundamental basketball. So, good job. Good job to teams that advanced. The Elite Eight starts Saturday and Sunday. So good job to these teams, and we'll see them on the weekend. So I want to see how the Elite Eight goes. I want to see if there will be more upsets or if it'll be more of the same, just expected teams sort of advancing. So we'll see what happens with that. Sweet 16 ended. Tournament's almost over now. Now you only got about like a couple of games left, and tournament's over. Damn, that's gonna be really sad. But damn. All right. Well, we'll see how the Elite Eight goes now. So we'll see about that.